us tonight are on the broad road that leads to destruction. And tonight, I would say with Moses, I would say with Joshua, turn, repent, choose God, serve Him, live for Him. That is the message of God tonight to this great audience of people at Yankee Stadium.
I see revival coming to planet Earth, maybe as never before. It will be untold numbers, an untold, uncounted multitudes that will be saved. The dead will be raised. The arthritic will be healed. Cancer will be healed. No disease would be able to stand before God's people, and that it would be a worldwide situation.
There's a church that doesn't just know about God, they know God. They don't just believe in His power, they carry His power. God will shake the United States of America one last time, not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market. Welcome to CTM x CTN.
I think you just said the same thing over again.
Is that what I did?
You did. So close, so far away.
I was still thinking about all the memes that I was sending to Brennan to put in today.
They're going to be good ones.
Some good stuff. Good morning, Lisa, Stephanie, Sandra, Karina, GSS Trucking, Joanne, Naveed, Christophorus. Let's see what he has.
Got
Maxwell House coffee on deck.
Oh dear.
He's got a bucket of it. Yeah, you can buy it in these like huge things at Walmart.
No.
Yeah, you can. They're like
no.
It's literally this big.
That's
like a little bucket of coffee.
DM me on Instagram your address and I'll send you some really good coffee.
Doug, good morning. For Freedom from Fargo. Fargo, that's in North Dakota, right? Fargo, North Dakota? Nick, did you pay attention in geography? Fargo is in North Dakota, right?
I feel like it's not. It is?
I think so.
All right.
not 100% on that, but I think so. How's everybody doing? Oh, he is. He's been
Nice. Good. I'll expose you to some real stuff.
All right, let's get into some news this morning, see what's going on.
Let's check it out.
A lot of misinformation.
No, not here.
Not here.
Not
I'm just
here.
saying out there.
Prophet Smith, this is
So
all going to be misinformation, people.
We are bringing you correct information.
This is real news.
to go against the misinformation.
Thanks, Patrick.
There you go.
Jeez. All right, breaking report. Eau Claire School District in Wisconsin is ordering teachers during a staff training day not to share their pupils' gender identities with their parents. Remember, parents are not entitled to know their kids' identities. So keep an eye out if you're in Wisconsin.
That puts me in a fighting mood.
Good. That's a good thing. Next. Some people are getting 4th and 5th shots of a vaccine designed for a virus from 3 years ago that has mutated significantly since.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all about the money. Next. Good news for FINA. Swimming set for rule change to ensure no repeat of Leah Thompson controversy. Let's see it. Or not? All right, next. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. All right, so I just... They say the drone shot came out pretty cool, but the only thing cool about this is the drone shot. Take it away, bad dancing man.
Exactly how I danced.
It's like I was gonna say it's total dad moves. It's very funny. I just want to throw that out there. Next.
There was actually an analyst who this is legit, like a legitimate analyst from an investment bank.
Okay.
That said that Elon Musk had danced at another one of his openings, and when he danced, after that Tesla stock went up however much, 20%. I should say 20%.
What?
So he's saying that because he danced again at the Berlin Gigafactory opening, that means that Tesla stock is going to go up even more.
Because he danced.
Yes.
All
so
right, I'll
those
give
are
it
the
to him.
kind of analysts. So and there's people that say, they're analysts, they're analyzing stocks. It's better just to do your own research, because if that's the information they're going off of, that's not good.
I mean, I would love to have the power to just do a bad little jig and, stocks go up.
And stocks move, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be dancing all day.
Next. From Majid, defense companies having a good war in Ukraine as shares skyrocket. Western powers are flooding Ukraine with guns, ammunition, and sophisticated man-portal missile systems, sending share prices for weapons companies up by as much as 72%. War makes for great money for some people. Next. And there you have it. Defense companies' stocks have soared as the war in Ukraine triggers a massive reinvestment in arms industry, sources have told The Times. Western powers are flooding Ukraine with guns, ammunition, and sophisticated man-portable missile systems, sending share prices for weapons companies up by as much as 72% since the day that Russia invaded. The surge is also due to European governments increasing their military spending in response to Russian aggression, creating international opportunities to acquire lucrative arms contracts. Interesting stuff. Should have been doing this over a decade ago, but here we are. Next. Shanghai registers more cases in 4 weeks than in the previous 2 years of the entire pandemic. Zero COVID policy working out great. Again, I see. Next. Anthony Blinken stated the State Department has reached another milestone in our work to better serve all U.S. citizens, regardless of their gender identity. Starting on April 11th, U.S. citizens will be able to select an X as their gender marker on their U.S. passport application. Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how this would go over if they, took a vacation in Saudi Arabia.
Honestly, I don't think some countries are going to accept it. I don't think they will, because it becomes a security issue at that point.
Well, even if they do, they'll probably get harassed at the airport or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
harassed. Oh, there's so many things I could say. Next. All right, the FDA has authorized a second booster shot of the Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines for older adults, but did so without convening a meeting of its panel of vaccine experts first, a move that angered healthcare experts skeptical of a fourth shot's utility. Interesting stuff. Next.
Oil prices slide as Biden considers huge reserves release. Let's see it.
Adopted Trump language now.
Jenny just asked a question. Patrick, what companies are good defense investments? Lockheed Martin, McDonnell Douglas, L3 Harris Technologies, Boeing. Let's see, am I missing any? L3 Harris. I got a list of them here. Raytheon, RTX, Lockheed Martin, LMT, General Dynamics, GD, Northrop Grumman, NOC, and LHX, which is L3 Harris Technologies. Those are some of the biggest defense companies. And then you've got, what's the British one called? You have Leonardo SPA, which is an Italian company. Man, what's that British one called? Well, there's a big British one. Then there's Rheinmetall in Germany, which is also one that is going to very heavily benefit from Germany, buying more arms. Airbus Defense, that might be another one when it comes to Europe. BAE Systems, that's the one.
There you go.
Thank you, Donald. I appreciate it. Yeah, BAE Systems is also one of the biggest ones. So those are all companies that stand to profit in the short term from the war in Ukraine, and then in the long term from European countries buying more arms and saying that they're going to be spending more of their GDP on arms. So yeah, BAE is the ticker symbol for that one. All right, let's see the article. Oil prices dropped sharply on Thursday after reports that U.S. President Joe Biden is considering the release of up to 180 million barrels from the country's strategic petroleum reserve, which at some point they're going to have to fill this back up too. Biden is set to give remarks later on Thursday, with multiple outlets reporting that the plan to cool soaring crude prices will involve the release of around 1 million barrels of oil per day for several months. I really don't know what that's going to do. How much oil does the U.S. use in a day? How many barrels?
Well, and this was because of Trump, was it not? That we even have this available to Americans.
He refilled it.
Yeah.
But they've always had a strategic reserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So the U.S. uses 20.47 million barrels of oil daily. So 1 million barrels of oil isn't really going to do much for price. So this is more just like a, oh no, the midterms are right around the corner.
We're doing something, I think.
And then they can say something along the lines of, well, we released millions of barrels of oil and it's the gas companies, they're still charging too much. But in the grand scheme of things, that's 5%. 1 million barrels, that's 5% of the U.S. So the price might go down by 5%. So it'll go down by $7 per barrel, which means at the pump you'll see a 7-cent decrease or something like that.
Oh joy.
10 cents maybe. So thanks, Joe Byron. Appreciate it. Biden is set to give remarks later on Thursday, with multiple outlets reporting that the plan to cool soaring crude prices will involve the release of around 1 million barrels of oil per day for several months. International benchmark Brent crude futures from May fell around 5.8% to 106.85, so already fell, so it's already priced in. Pairing earlier losses, U.S. crude futures from May delivery slid around 5.7% to 101.68. Earlier in the session, the contract traded as low as $8.16. Gasoline prices have surged to record highs on Russia's invasion of Ukraine and subsequent supply concerns, driving spikes in inflation across the global economy. Continue. Russia is the world's second largest exporter of oil, and unprecedentedly punitive international sanctions following the invasion have disrupted flows out of the country. In a research note Thursday, Goldman Sachs commodity analyst said the reported release from U.S. reserves would help the oil market towards rebalancing in 2022, but would not solve its structural deficit. Let's see how many barrels of oil does the world use daily. 100 million barrels.
Dang.
Daily world consumption is 100 million barrels a day, and the U.S. has 600 million in reserve.
Jeez.
So the U.S. could release 1 million barrels a day for 600 days, and then they would be out. That's interesting. This would reduce the amount of necessary price-induced demand destruction, the sole oil rebalancing mechanism currently available in the world, devoid of inventory buffers and supply elasticity. This would remain, however, a release of oil inventory is not a persistent source of supply for coming years. Such a release would therefore not resolve the structural supply deficit years in the making. So OPEC said this morning that even if the U.S. releases strategic oil, they're still going to maintain their modest growth in output.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to do much. Everybody's making a ton of money off of this. So really the only way for oil prices to come down is for there to be some sort of demand destruction.
Yeah, that's the term. Right on. Right on.
Continue. We can go to the next one. Next article. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge rose 5.4% in March, the highest since 1983. The Federal Reserve's favorite inflation measure showed intensifying price pressures in February, rising to its highest annual level since 1983, the Commerce Department reported Thursday. Excluding food and energy prices, the personal consumption expenditures price index increased 5.4% from the same period in 21, the biggest jump going back to April 1983. Including gas and groceries, the headline PCE measure jumped 6.4%, the fastest pace since January 1982. The core PCE increases actually was a touch lower than the 5.5% Dow Jones estimate. On a monthly basis, the gauge was up 0.4% in line with estimates. Continue. Surging prices dented consumer spending, which rose just 0.2% for the month, below the 0.5% estimate. Personal income increased 0.4%, a touch below the 0.5% expectation. So personal income increased in line with inflation. In other economic news, Thursday morning, the Labor Department reported that initial jobless claims totaled 202,000 for the week that ended March 26th. That was an increase of 14,000 from the previous week, ahead of the 195,000 estimate, but still below the level that prevailed prior to the COVID pandemic. All right, next. Apple reportedly wants to handle its own financial services, and partner stocks paid the price. So Square, what else? Stripe, other merchants like that got hammered yesterday because of what Apple has decided that they might be doing here. Let's see it. Apple has increasing ambitions in financial technology as it explores ways to participate in the financial services industry more directly, according to a Wednesday report. This might be good news for Apple stock if they're going to go full financial services. Because if they take everything in-house, they'll make more money. And the stock market's open. Where are we at here? Down 74.77 on the Dow Jones, down 7 on the S&P, and up 2 points on the Nasdaq. Oil is down to $103 a barrel for WTI crude. Gold is up $5. Silver is up 0.66%. Not too bad. Let's take a look at cryptocurrencies. The market's up about 0.5%. Bitcoin up 0.15%. Ethereum up 0.41% over the last 24 hours. Solana has been cruising. It's up 10.95%. Cardano is also up. Avalanche up to 99. So about to break the $100 mark there. Dogecoin's up. Shiba Inu is up. Let's see what else we got here. Anything interesting? All right, let's go back to our article. Green Dot, CoreCard, and Goldman Sachs stocks fall after a report that Apple will attempt to bring responsibility for its financial services offerings in-house. Apple has increasing ambitions in financial technology as it explores ways to participate in the financial services industry more directly, according to a Wednesday report. The company is developing payment processing technology and tools that could support future ambitions. Eventually, Apple could come to depend less on the partners that support current fintech offerings such as Apple Pay, Apple Card, and Apple Cash. Continue. Shares of Green Dot, which helps facilitate the Apple Cash Money transfer service, fell as much as 10% on Wednesday trading after the report hit, though they pared back some of those losses and finished down 5.2%. Shares of CoreCard, which is said to do payment processing work related to the credit card Apple offers with Goldman Sachs, were off 12.2%, and Goldman Sachs fell 1.2%. Shares of Apple weren't helped by the report. They fell 0.7% to snap an 11-session winning streak. The company didn't immediately respond to a MarketWatch request for comment about its financial services aims. Continue. Apple is currently involved with a number of financial technology projects, leveraging support for partners. While Apple Pay is likely the company's most well-known foray, Apple also has its credit card and an installment program for device purchases, which they have through Citizens Bank, I believe. Additionally, it recently announced that it would start letting merchants use their iPhones as acceptance devices for contactless payments. Oh, wow. Which means that'll affect terminals, because then people don't have to pay terminals, like the Square and Clover and all those different terminals, if they can just use their iPhones or iPads without needing anything else, just that from Apple. That'll hurt those other companies. The smartphone giant may have signaled its growing fintech ambitions recently through the acquisition of Credit Kudos, a company that aims to improve credit scoring. While Apple didn't respond to an earlier MarketWatch inquiry about the acquisition, the Credit Kudos terms of use page currently describes the company as a subsidiary of Apple. So Apple taking over the world there. Continue. We can go to the next article. Wife, tax season is here. Don't forget that we have to pay taxes on our 2021 stock market gains. Meanwhile, you have 34,000 in capital losses.
Oh, jeez.
3,000 of these losses are deductible this year. The rest will be carried forward to your next year's taxes. Man.
Wow.
And he didn't tell the wife. Next. Every time I invest money in stonks and crypto, hidden dip. That's right. Yes. Next. The latest Wall Street estimate for the metaverse is that it could be a $13 trillion market. And people spending lots of time in the metaverse. See it? The latest Wall Street bank to make sense of the metaverse is Citi, which says the market for it might reach $13 trillion. In a 184-page research note, Citi defines the metaverse in a broad way, including not just headsets, but even smartphones, to reach a market size of between 8 and 13 trillion by 2030. With as many as 5 billion users, Citi says augmented reality, where images and sound complement reality rather than virtual reality, will be more ubiquitous. Put a different way, the metaverse would be 1% of the estimated $128 trillion global economy, which doesn't sound too far-fetched given that the digital economy accounted for 10% of U.S. output in 2018 before the pandemic. But there's a need for major investments to get there. Only a quarter of the global population will have access to 5G speeds by 2025. In any event, the Citi report notes users aren't necessarily clamoring to get there. Not if Elon Musk has something to say about it. Continue. What will the metaverse be used for? Gaming for sure, but also entertainment, commerce, advertising, education, healthcare, public services, tourism, and training. Basically, your entire life will be contained in the metaverse. There's already examples, such as rapper Travis Scott performing a concert inside for the Fortnite game. Are you serious? Or a virtual fashion week this month in Decentraland, which is also, Decentraland also has a cryptocurrency. Popular metaverse gaming companies include Fortnite maker Epic Games, Roblox, Ubisoft, and Microsoft, which owns Minecraft. And of course, no metaverse discussion would be complete without an examination of cyber currencies and non-fungible tokens. I was talking to Doug the other day, which I need to have him on again. He was telling me how non-fungible tokens could be used for real estate. So instead of you having a deed, you would basically get like an NFT for the property that you own. And if you own a property that has like multiple parcels or multifamily, you'll get several NFTs.
What? Jeez.
So people
That's
can't.
interesting stuff.
Which would be good in developing nations, because a lot of times what happens there, like for, you know, when I lived in Africa, there would be somebody who buys a plot of land, and then somebody comes along and they're like, no, this is my plot of land. I have the deed.
Yep.
And so there would be two deeds, so you don't know who actually owns it. So I think that would be, you know, pretty good. Continue. And there are already gaming tokens with the market capitalizations of over 1 billion. Mana for Decentraland, that's what it's called. AXS for Axie Infinity, which is huge in Southeast Asia. Sand for Sandbox, Ape for ApeCoin, and Gala for Gala. City expects different forms of cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin and Ethereum to dominate, but also coexist with fiat currency, central bank digital currency, and stablecoins. Next. Mom, don't sit too close to the TV. It's bad for your eyes 20 years later.
Yep.
That's a good one. Literally have the TV strapped to your eyes. Next. In-game reality. VR in real life. It's so true. When you see somebody with that headset on, it looks...
Yep, they look ridiculous.
It does, yeah. Next. The SEC proposes for greater disclosures from blank check company sponsors. Financial Times, let's see it. I think this is good news. Wall Street's watchdog on Wednesday unveiled a draft new rule to enhance blank check or special purpose acquisition companies, SPACs, investor disclosures, and to strip them of legal protection. Critics argue has allowed the shell companies to issue overly optimistic earnings projections. You remember how we talked about like Rivian and all those electric car makers? They're saying that we're going to sell $200 trillion worth of cars next year. In reality, they're selling, 2 or 3 cars. So this could, what they're saying is that potentially this could help investors be able to sue if they do that. So they'll have to be more in line with what's actually with what their earnings projections are actually going to be.
Being held accountable.
Exactly.
Nice.
The U.S. Securities Exchange Commission move is part of a broader crackdown on SPACs after a frenzy of deals in 2020 and early 21 sparked concerns that some investors are getting a raw deal. According to data shared by Renaissance Capital, the U.S. SPAC market experienced a wild ride in 21, with an explosion in deals during the first half of the year that quickly cooled off in the second half. All told, 604 SPACs raised $144 billion in 21. Continue. The SEC proposal aims to close that loophole by offering SPAC investors protections similar to those they would receive during the IPO process. The rule would require SPACs to disclose more details about their sponsors, their compensation, conflicts of interest, and share dilution. It would also enhance disclosures about the targeted takeover. The rule would also strip SPACs of a liability safe harbor for forward-looking statements such as earnings projections. The SEC has stepped up oversight of SPACs amid worries of inadequate disclosures and lofty revenue projections. If you go on like TD Ameritrade or whatever trading platform you use, usually under news it'll tell you if there's lawsuits. Under a ton of these SPACs, there's lawsuits against them.
Really?
From investors, yeah.
Nice.
Because of their disclosures and things like that. So I think this is good news. But it's probably going to cool off the SPAC market and make a lot of these companies have to go through like the full IPO process. So that's good. Next. My wife's face when I tell her I'm quitting my 9-to-5 because I made $80 trading yesterday.
I know people in this situation.
No, for real. That's
Accurate.
that was Bethany's face when I told her that in about 2012 when I made $80 trading.
$80.
Yeah, I was like, listen, I can do this every single day.
And if you're
Then
doing
I
it
tried
full
again
time,
the next day and I lost $100. And I was like, you know what? This might not be for me. At the end of the year, I'm going to break you. Continue. Scientists have made a bracelet that converts stress into electricity. Stock traders.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Next.
Oh dear.
How was the meeting today? It was classic Deutsche meeting. Oh my goodness, Deutsche Bank.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Brennan.
That's a good
Deutsche
one.
Bank fired a number of top bankers in New York after submitting a tab from a strip club as a legitimate business expense. Oh my goodness. These Germans.
Yeah, these Germans.
You know what? If they probably, I guarantee you these guys were from Germany. And in Germany, they submitted that expense. And the people, the accounting firm was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll pay for that. It was a business meeting. But that doesn't fly in the US, I guess. Next.
Oh, the Germans.
Pro traders react to Robinhood extending trading hours. I'll just summarize it because I got to get into the stocks research. Basically, there's a lot more volatility because there's not a lot of liquidity in the after hours trading. So if you're going to trade after hours, be careful because the bid and ask spread are going to be much larger, and you might lose more money in after hours trading. All right, stocks to research. I got 2. Yesterday I was asked to research a couple things, and so I was able to look at 2 of them. Enbridge Energy, ENB, Enbridge Inc., which is a company that we've looked at before last year, in the summer of last year, an energy infrastructure company with business platforms that include a network of crude oil, natural gas distribution, and renewable power generation. This is a Canadian company. They transport and process gas in the US and Canada, and they invest in green power transmission investments. They've got a pretty good dividend yield, over 5.8%. Annual revenue growth has been around 6% on average over the past 5 years. They've had dividend growth. It has a fairly low price to book value compared to the overall industry. There are some risks. I mean, the oil energy market has been cruising, and the stock is currently trading at around $46 a share. Overall, not too bad, but like many energy companies, they've been on a steady rise and hitting newer 52-week highs. I still think it's a pretty good company. They have solid financials. Book value is below the industry average. Got a good amount of net profit. Overall, I think it's still a good investment, and even better if you got in last year when we discussed it in June, especially for the dividend yield, which will continue. Dividend yield for this is going to continue, even if the stock does go down a little bit. But I think overall, Enbridge is still a good company. I think they still have some room left for growth in the stock price there. So if you're in ENB, Enbridge, that's good. If you're thinking of getting in, I mean, it is hitting 52-week highs, so it could go higher, and it's only trading at 2.2x book value, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I still think it would be a pretty good company. Praxis Blockchain says my old company supplies most of the industrial pipeline control valves for Enbridge. Enbridge is they're a fairly stable company. I like the fact that they have a good amount of net income, so it's not income after expenses basically is higher than most other companies or most other Canadian companies like Enbridge. The other one that I was asked to take a look at, so Enbridge I would put into like a medium risk category. Another one is HYMC, Hycroft Mining Holding Corporation. So this one is the mining company that was bought by AMC. So it's been cruising. Their stock's up about 675% over the last 30 days. There's a lot of hype around this stock, with mentions on Wall Street Bets, other online forums, due to AMC buying them. Financially, they had a net loss in 2020. They will be filing their 2021 report today. So today their financials are supposed to come out for 21. So I would be careful with this one just because of the hype that's around it. I would like to see, if I legitimately invest in it, I would like to see their 2021 financial reports first. I'm sure there's a reason why AMC invested, but with all the hype that's surrounding this company, it's going to be very volatile. Because everybody's like, oh, AMC, did you hear AMC bought the silver company? Let's get into it. So it's more of a gamble. I mean, they're trading at $2.39 a share, somewhere around there. So I think, if you got in earlier or if you get in now, you might still be able to make some money, but I wouldn't YOLO into this stock. It could be a potential candidate for a short squeeze. There is some short interest on this stock, so it could be one of those, Wall Street Bets short squeezes that goes up to $10 or $12 within a day. If there is a major short squeeze on it. So personally, this is high risk because for me, it would be more of a gamble than a legitimate investment. I would need to see more of their financial reports. They don't have much of it on their website. And so, yeah, that would be, I would like to see their report for 21 that comes out today. But yeah, those are the two. Medium risk, Enbridge, good company, and then high risk, Hycroft, more of like a Wall Street Bets gambling right now, I would say. So those are the two stocks. If there's any that you would like me to take a look at, let me know. I'll take a look at some more. You can put those in the comments. And if you'd like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that now. Here are the ways to give. If you put the kingdom of God first, all these things will be added unto you. So if you invest in the kingdom of God, I have a lot of personal testimonies. Some that just happened recently, where one example was where I was driving to work, and all of a sudden this thought came into my mind about how I sowed a seed back when my wife and I barely had any money, and so I just prayed. I was like, Lord, if there's any return on that seed that I haven't received, let me receive it today. And 15 minutes later, somebody calls me and sows into my life, a great amount of cryptocurrency. So it's not, this cool. Is real. It's not,
it's
those
true.
kind of returns you can't get on a stock. And so I just wanted to give that testimony to you that is, it's real. It's not fake. RevivalToday.com/give, #donate on Facebook, text RT to 50155. If you'd like to give by mobile app, we've got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Cryptocurrencies, if you'd like to donate any cryptocurrencies. And then you can also send us a check, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. And then, what are we doing for an offer today? Let's get this bread. That's right. With Baker Patrick, Crypto Island. We'll send that to you as a thank you for investing in Revival today. And we look forward to hearing your testimonies. Well, thank you so much for hanging out today.
Charles is asking if you're still interested in Tesla for the long term.
In Tesla? Well, I mean, Tesla is a good. It's way overvalued, in my opinion. But Tesla, I heard something interesting the other day. I was listening to somebody, and they were saying that Tesla. Don't look at Tesla as a car company. Tesla is a data company.
Yes.
And so when you look at it from that perspective, yes, I mean, they're collecting all this data on roads. They're collecting all this data, with the cameras that they have, all this data on drivers that they're going to use for driverless cars in the future. So as a data company, investing in Tesla as a data company, yes. Investing in it as a vehicle company, I would not. But I don't know what all that data is worth. That's something that you can't really quantify.
No, you can't.
But I like Tesla. I'm not invested in Tesla right now. I don't like the vehicles. But Elon Musk is...
he's a great... You can level with him on the dancing front,
I'm sure we could hang. All right. Well, go out there, make some money today. Looks like stonks are trading down a little bit. We'll see where they end up at the end of the day. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.